I always tell the kids, if we win a state title, that's lagniappe.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of extra.
Yeah.
As long as I know what you guys are going to become when you leave here.
Hey, you're going to love this episode. This week, we have Coach Kent Masson. He's the head coach, wrestling coach at Teurlings Catholic High School. He's also a running backs coach and a dual enrollment English teacher. And he teaches both at Teurlings and LSU. You're probably wondering, why do you have a coach on your business podcast? And I can tell you, there are points in this episode that equate so well to business. Here's Coach Kent Masson's episode.
I try not to take credit for a whole lot. Everything that the kids accomplish, they have it already within themselves to be able to do that. I just kind of push it out a little bit for them.
Well, sometimes you have to find it too, huh?
Right, exactly. Sometimes, and I try to help them find it too.
You have made a name for yourself and for Teurlings Catholic High School as the head wrestling coach. And I just have to tell you, I appreciate what you do, not only in the sport, but what you've done for the kids and the people you've pushed out into the world. It's just unbelievable.
I think, with anything else, you have to be able to surround yourself with the people that are going to help you do things like that.
I imagine you have some amazing stories of turning people around and or at least getting their attention,
right?
Directing them and then helping them pursue goals and challenges.
I do. I have 1 year. There was 2 kids that I had, and one was struggling at home, having some problems at home. He had wrestled in the state tournament as a junior. This was his senior year. And he was sick one day, and we had wrestle-offs, and he lost a wrestle-off. And that was going to determine who was going to wrestle in state. But he was just not in a very good place, and I knew he wasn't in a very good place. The young man that beat him, I sat down with him, and I talked to him. That young man gave up his spot for the senior to wrestle in state. The senior that wrestled in state ended up placing 3rd. But more than anything else, when he left, he went into the Navy, got his life in order. He's married now with a child, and he's a firefighter in the Lafayette area. That's a feel-good story.
Coach, that's what it's all about.
Right. The young man that gave up his spot started the next year as a senior, and he became a state champion his senior year. And we have an award that we give out at the end of every year, and we named it after him. And so, that's what I really love about the kids that I have on my team.
Yeah.
They will sacrifice to all the ends of the earth for everybody else.
Yeah. So you may not mention this, but I have to for the audience. Am I right? 23 years coaching? 23
years.
12 state championships.
Correct.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, it took a lot to get there.
Oh, yeah.
It was 12 state championships. It's 12 in the last 15 years. So the first few years was a struggle and trying to put it together. But then in my 3rd year, we finished as state runner-up.
Yeah.
And we had grown from like 12 kids to 29. I just realized, okay, I need some help. So I got some people to come in. A man named Brad Maha came in to help me because he had a little bit more as far as technique is concerned. Mm-hmm. I knew the direction the program wanted to go into. He could help me with the technique a little bit more, and I knew where I was going to lead the team and where I was going to take it. And after we finished as state runner-up, we finished 3rd in state for the next 3 years, and then we won our first state title.
And then you really got it.
And then it started.
Kids
It just took off.
of it.
Right.
Someone might be watching this and going, why are we watching a head wrestling coach, right, on a business podcast? But what you've been able to do parallels what we ought to do in business. You started from scratch, right? You came to Teurlings with this vision, much like a business owner or an entrepreneur may have a vision of a company, and they have to go through those startup years. So that's kind of what you were talking about in your first 3 years, starting with 12 kids and a vision.
Exactly. Like I said, I think the actual program had been around for 2 years before I got there.
Okay.
So I didn't start it directly from scratch, but when I got there, there was only like 4 kids in the team. And then my first year, I got about 8 more kids to come out. So we had 12.
Yeah.
And in order to be successful in wrestling in the state tournament, you have to fill at least 12 to almost all 14 weight
to get
classes
points.
to get points to be able to win.
Got it.
Well, that first year we only filled 7 weight classes. And so we finished, I think, like 14th or 15th in Division III.
Yeah.
And then the next year we moved up a little bit. We finished 7th. And then my third year, I had gotten 29 kids in the team practically, and we finished as state runner-up. And all of a sudden, I started to feel a lot of, I guess you can say, emotions where I know we can actually be really successful. The kids on that team also felt the same thing. And so now, not only am I trying to grab kids, I'll walk to a kid in a hallway. I say, "Hey, how much you weigh? Come wrestle." You know, and I'll grab kids that way. And the kids in the team will also do the exact same thing. They're, "Hey, come wrestle." And we just started to slowly grow. It's been a lot of fun. It's been challenging. It's challenging at times because you're dealing with 15, 16, and 17-year-old kids that really have no idea what the direction they're going in their life.
And Louisiana isn't a wrestling mecca.
Right. It's not. Correct.
So I would say Teurlings is now, but to attract those kids, you had to give them something attractive.
Right. The kids had to have something to believe in, and I can pinpoint when it really started to change.
Tell me about that.
In 2010, I took my team up to the University of Missouri for a wrestling camp. And it was like maybe, I think I took 28, 29 kids. Putting 28, 29 kids on a plane and flying to Missouri and taking them to a camp and then flying them home. It's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. Yeah. Because you got to make sure, I got to count, are you all here? Are we on the plane? And while we were there was something that I learned from the head coach in the University of Missouri, Brian Smith. They had a saying about one more, and they took the letter M in Missouri and put the 1 on the side, and it was one more. Everything they did was one more. Yeah. One more sprint, one more drill, one more hour of studying, one more hour of community service. Everything they did was one more. And so I had a one-on-one talk with him, and I asked, "Is there some way I can use that?" And he said, "Please, I want you to use that." Yeah. So we did, and I talked to the seniors, and they took the TC in Teurlings, and they put the 1 down the middle, and they said 1. I said, "Okay, then you guys got to come up with something." And they did this. They said one true cause. Everything we do at Teurlings Catholic, as far as wrestling, is one true cause for the glory of God, because we're a Catholic school.
That's right.
And so now that one true cause mantra that was the year we won our first state title, was in 2011, that next spring of 2011. That was our mantra, and it has stayed with us ever since. And the kids rally around it. They understand what it is. They know it is. They buy into it. Yeah. Now, you don't get every single person to buy into it, but you want them all to. And the ones that really buy into that idea of what we do are the ones that end up having an extreme amount of success, not just in wrestling, but later in life too. Yeah. And that's what we did.
That's what you're in it for.
Right, exactly.
You're certainly, when they're in there, you're in it to win it, but it's about winning in life and going on and giving to your community, to your families and everything.
I always tell the kids, if we win a state title, that's lanyap. Yeah. That's a little bit of extra. Yeah. As long as I know what you guys are going to become when you leave here.
So when you first started out, you were in TV, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, you're doing well on camera.
Oh, so. Thank you. I have a face for radio, though.
You started out. Why coaching, Coach? I mean, really, you were on a career path. What did you see it coming back?
I kind of, it's funny. I went back and I looked at a form, because when you used to fill out for the ACT, what do you want to do? And the first thing on my list was journalism. Yeah. And then after journalism, right after that was teaching. And I said, wow, that's an amazing thing. I saw this after I'd been at a television station in Lafayette for like 6 years. And I said, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to do this. I was 33 years old. I hadn't moved on from the Lafayette market, because I think anybody that's in television, they want to move on. Yeah. This is market size 121. And so you want to move up to at least market size 60, and then eventually move up to market size 20. Got it. And just move your way up and then slowly build what you want to do. But I was 33 and I was still here in Lafayette. I hadn't moved on. I had a couple of opportunities, but maybe the market size 109,
Yeah, sure.
market size 100. And I said, I just had my first child, and I said I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fun. And I realized, I would talk to my father all the time. He would ask, "Where are you going today?" I'm going to an LSU press conference, LSU football press conference, Raging Cajun basketball press conference. I realized it was actually time when he said, "What are you doing today?" And I said, "I'm going to work."
Yeah.
And that's when I realized. And so
that is
it changed.
That's a big deal, right?
Right. Yeah. So it changed right there, and that's when I made the decision. And both my parents are teachers. My father taught at Brother Martin for 30-something years.
Yep.
He was an assistant football coach at Ridgewood Prep. He was a coach as well. My mother is a teacher. She's actually an administrator now at a middle school in Metairie.
Yeah.
So teaching had always been in my blood already. So I just kind of knew that was probably the direction I was going into.
Man, I'll tell you what, this to me is so inspirational, because I hear stories all day long about startups and what some people might perceive as failure, and the few business owners that get through and they go to the next level.
Right.
Right. And so you have I guess I'm curious about that last statement you made about going up in media from market 121 to 60. You've done very well at Teurlings. Nothing attracts you outside of here. You're staying around.
Being at Teurlings Catholic it's a very, very special place.
Yeah.
And sure, I've had conversations with other schools about going somewhere else. But for some reason, there's something that draws you back in. Now, I'm never going to say that I'm going to stay there forever.
No, it's anything.
Because you never know what's going to happen. But it's a very, very special place to be. And the kids are coming from blue-collar families. They all work hard. Most of the parents have to work extremely hard to get their kids to pay for the tuition. And they give everything they have. Yeah. And the kids are hard workers. And that's what I like about it. But I'll tell you what, being at Teurlings Catholic, I have never seen a school that has been built around faith the way that this school is.
Yeah.
Now, I know other schools in the area are all faith-driven as well, but I remember what it was like when I was in the high school, and it was faith-driven, but not to the extent that it is at Teurlings. And I think that's just one of the most amazing things that I've seen on that campus.
What do you think makes the difference?
I really honestly think the kids already have it instilled in them from their parents about their faith. Mm-hmm. And they're true to it. And when they are involved, whether it's in a mass or a prayer service, they're all in. Yeah. And it's really the most incredible thing to see sometimes. And they are just a group of kids that, when they're built around their faith so much, it makes everything else they do so much better in their lives. Yeah. And it's what draws you in.
You've built a program through leadership. You've modeled what it should be. It sounds like you brought in great coaching, and the kids are there. Is there something that you could put your finger on it to say, this is what made us better or different? It could be that the one, right?
Right. I think we already knew we were going to be pretty good that year when we came up with that motto. Yeah. But I knew that I wanted to get them to not just focus on the championship aspects, because, like I said, championships are a lanyard. Yeah. So I needed to make sure that they stayed grounded on everything that they did. Because that's what I try to do. I try to stay grounded. Because when you ask me, how many state championships have you won? Well, I've actually won 4. I was on a part of 4 state championships
in high school, which is pretty good, Coach.
Right. So I've been involved in 16, but I only claimed 4. The other 12 belong to the kids. They don't belong to me. That's their work. That's what they've done. Now, granted, my name, and every time we win a tournament, they always take a picture of the team, and I never get in the picture.
Really?
I never get, except for the state tournament. And the only reason why I get in the picture at the state tournament is because the LHSAA forces me to get into it. If I didn't have to get into it, I wouldn't.
Is the
It's not
state,
about me. It's about them.
is that when they bring all classifications together and
The state tournament
yeah.
is divided up into the 3 divisions.
Okay,
So we
still
wrestle in
divided.
division.
You've grown this into something that's spectacular, especially for the state of Louisiana. It's unheard of, I think. If Kent Mason weren't the head coach at Teurlings, do you feel like you've built a program that can continue on?
If I happen to leave,
If you left or you just evaporated, you're not here anymore.
I think it's at the point now to where it can be self-sufficient. The coaches that I have along with me right now, Brad Maha, who's been with me for close to 20 years.
Yeah.
Mike Williford, who has been, he's a huge man. Like he's 275 pounds, and I'm giving him a little bit maybe taking a little bit away from him.
Yeah.
But he's very good with our heavyweights. Will Landry, who wrestled for me, and he was a state champion, he comes in. Josh Abear, he also wrestled for me. And we have a young man from Ohio that's come to help us. His name is Jared Van Vliet. He's also he's technically so sound, and he's so good at what he does. And then we had a man that was helping us for a number of years. His name was Kirby Lee, and he was incredible for a long time, and just getting the kids to be accountable for what they were doing. So when you surround yourself with these guys, it kind of helps a little bit. And I think I'm digressing from the actual question.
No. Well, you're not though, because you have, like in companies, what we do is if it's all top down and it's one guy and he or she runs the show, they make all the decisions, they do all that, the value of the company is a lot less because somebody who came in and acquired the company, they can't do it without that company, right? Or if you can't delegate and you don't have a leadership team to help you make those decisions, obviously you have processes and systems in place, and that's the same thing in a company. So you're just when the owner or the leader can pass it down to a leadership team because we've built a culture, we've built the systems, processes, and we have all the tools we need in place to win. That is a very, very valuable. And I suspect if you were to walk away or if you were to evaporate, like we said, Teurlings Catholic, their wrestling program would continue to go on.
It would. The one thing that Teurlings would have to do is they'd have to hire somebody who is a faculty member.
Yes.
So out of all the entire group, I'm the only faculty member.
Yeah.
All the others, they all have jobs away from wrestling, and they give up their own time to come in to help.
It's beautiful
because they love being a part of it. But they'd have to hire a faculty member because being a faculty member now, you're on campus with the kids constantly, and you're saying, "Hey, come here, come wrestle." You can start to grab kids and bring them in. If you don't have that faculty member, it takes away a little bit of something. We have a club, a kids club that feeds into it a little bit.
Yeah.
So some kids come in, they're already prepared. And that's an awesome thing. But if you don't have a faculty member to go out and get kids who have never wrestled before to come in and be a part of the program, it's gonna dwindle down.
No doubt about
it.
No doubt about it.
So they'd have to hire a faculty member.
And that's where your leadership has been so valuable. And I just appreciate that so much because you know what it takes. And that's beautiful. You're also an English teacher, dual enrollment at LSU.
Correct.
And you're a running back coach for the football team?
Correct.
How'd the football team do? Are y'all pretty good?
We were really good this year. We were undefeated in the regular season. We had one of the best seasons we've ever had. We had a bye in the first round. We won our first round playoff game. Yeah. And then we lost 21-7 in the quarterfinals to John Curtis.
Yeah.
So,
they're okay.
They're not bad. They're not bad. They've only won, 25 state championships or something like that.
I mean, that's crazy.
But but we were right with them. We had some opportunities against them. We were only down 7-0, and we were moving the football against them.
Yeah.
And then, a couple of bad plays happened here and there, and we only fumbled like maybe once throughout the entire season. And then we fumbled the ball and gave it away. Yeah, it's tough. And they scored off their turnover. So, you can't give John Curtis opportunities.
No way.
Because they're going to make you pay for it.
As a senior in high school, we went to the state championship and lost. And, of course, I remember the score. I remember every play. I remember it's just tough, and it sticks with you. So God bless those kids.
Yeah.
And the coaches. I know it hurts. So I'd like to learn more about what it's taken to grow this team and to grow this reputation, because you've done it well, and y'all continue to roll. 12 out of 15, you've had state
Right.
champions, and obviously in the tournaments you've done well at, in other years. So what has it taken?
I think it's taken a lot of perseverance
Mhm.
on not just my part, but teaching the kids how to be have some perseverance too.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and the thing about wrestling is it teaches so much about who you are from a standpoint of a loss can teach you more than a win.
yes, sir.
And we never want to lose. I don't think anybody wants to lose. But I think that we took a lot of losses in the very beginning and we learned from those losses. And no matter what you do in life, if you have something that you're not successful at first, it's really easy to quit. And I didn't quit. I wasn't quitting on the kids. I had a vision and a dream of maybe being a team that could win a state title one time. And then the kids just kind of believed in that too. And they battled through that perseverance. We even had a kid that went 2-24 when he was a freshman, and he ended up becoming a state champion. That's perseverance. And I think that when you have so much that happens to you in a season, and then the next year you learn how to deal with it, I think that perseverance really stands true.
Yeah,
And that's one of the things that we built around
yeah,
was having that perseverance. And then I think the second thing is that because we are a Catholic school, we make sure that we hold on to that Catholic identity that we have. And I think that because of that Catholic identity and what we have rooted in our faith, that was built into the system too.
yeah,
And then the very last part, I think, realistically, because we don't teach anything as far as technique is concerned that any other school teaches. Like
yeah. You're
everybody
right.
teaches,
You're
everybody
right.
teaches the same thing.
Yep.
It's just a matter of how do you want to teach it. And I think that the way that we teach it and the way that we teach the kids how to wrestle, how to learn from wrestling, how to become a better person because of wrestling, I think that those are the things that have made us pretty successful.
Yeah. This is what still amazes me is how what you're doing equates to business and what leaders at companies ought to be looking for. You obviously have a set of characteristics that you look for, and you teach and you coach. And there's also actions, like critical daily actions that I heard in there. And you're calling them to continue to do that every day, every day, every day. And it makes a big difference when you get into a match or a tournament or whatever it may be. And
I think for the most part, you have to be there for the kids every waking moment,
yeah,
whatever they need. And I think that probably in the business world, if you treat your employees like they're just a number,
yeah,
they're not going to want to be a part of it. And I try not to treat the kids like they're just a number. And I know that it's when a kid texts me, because I don't keep their numbers. I can't keep their numbers in my phone because they're still students.
yeah, sure.
They'll get they know what my number is. They'll text me and I'll see their number. I'm like, okay, who is this? And what I have to do is I ask them who they are, and I say, what's going on? I have a problem, and I immediately drop everything that I'm doing to make sure I help them with their problem. And I think that to be a good quality leader, you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're successful at it, and sometimes you're not. But every once in a while, you're really successful at making sure that you're there for the people that are for you.
I'll tell you what, man, it means just because I enjoyed sports in high school, not as much in college. I wasn't as good as I thought I was, but it means so much to know that you have somebody there. And Coach, I know you mean the world to your guys, your kids.
But they mean the world to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that if you're a quality coach, it's not just what the kids learn from you; it's what you learn from them too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tell you what, I learn so much from the kids. Some kids you can really you can make a great connection with, and and you have that personal relationship that's really going to carry over. And then you have other kids that you connect with. You may not hear from them for a little while, but as soon as you see them again, you have an instant connection right back with them
amazing.
again.
Yeah. Like it just was when they graduated.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hadn't changed.
I love that. One of the, I guess, most complimentary things that I've learned about you is that your son is pursuing a career in education and coaching.
Yeah, no matter how much I try to tell him not to do it.
Exactly. But that proves to me, and I know you too, that you've modeled what's important in this world, and you've been a great model for him. And so he's out there pursuing a very similar career to you.
He is. He's decided to take the path of teaching and coaching. He teaches biology, and he'll talk to me about biology. I said, son, I teach English. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he's extremely intelligent. So intelligent at 25 years old, he's now the defensive coordinator of a high school.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
That's young.
Yeah.
But from everything I've understood about him is that he knows what he's talking about. And I know he's still learning. And I think that when you stop learning, it's time to get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of anything.
Right. And
that's a lesson.
He's still learning, and he started the wrestling program at Opelousas Catholic. And he's slowly building it.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch what he's doing, because he's incredible. He really is.
His first name isn't Kent, is it?
No.
Okay. So when they see all the championships.
No. His name is Bryant.
Okay.
I named him after Paul Bear Bryant.
No way.
I did. Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned that you're an Alabama fan.
Yes. And I know it's going to, people probably turn it off now.
No. They graduated one of my kids, and they treated my oldest son so well. And then, of course, I'm a huge Nick Saban fan.
Yes.
I watch these reels, and when I watch him say something, a lesson learned, it equates so much to business, just like you do.
It does. He ran a business when he was the head coach,
Oh,
whether it was at
didn't he?
LSU or at Alabama, wherever he was. It was a business.
You know what's so funny about that is I often share this with my entrepreneurs is that, look, in order to attract great employees, great customers, and team members, you leaders, you have to be attractive, right? And what Nick Saban has done so well everywhere he's been is he got the faculty involved. He got the people, obviously, who donors make a lot of money, assistant coaches, families,
correct,
and kids, and he's attractive. He gives them something attractive to pursue. And that's probably why he's been more successful than coaching. He's a great coach.
Right. Yeah.
You're
right. He built a football program to help build a university.
That's right.
And when he was at LSU, he helped build LSU as a university.
100%.
100%. Yeah. And then he did the same thing when he was at Alabama.
Yep.
I mean, if you even go back to Michigan State when he was there,
it's true.
It's the same exact thing.
The educational centers, you know what I mean, for these kids. And what's beautiful about him and you, Coach, is that you're building men. You win the championships,
right?
But you're building men, and I appreciate that.
Well, it means a lot when a kid comes back. In fact, I can tell you, I have a young man who lost his father his senior year, and ended up having like 4 concussions and couldn't wrestle in state. Like he couldn't do it. And then he went into he got all better, got rid of the concussion symptoms. He was all back to normal, and then went into the Marines.
Yeah.
And right now he flies helicopters in the Marines. He's actually in a Netflix documentary about the Marines.
No kidding.
And I've watched it, and they interview him over and over again. And he is just he's somebody that when he calls me, he'll call me and he say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?"
No kidding.
Yeah. And a lot of the kids that they started to call me Dad, because of what he started.
Yeah.
When he was in high school, and a lot of kids will say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" And I'm like, I'm not sure I'm really comfortable with that sometimes, but it's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah, you've earned it though. Looking back, career move, going into something completely uncharted, other than your really great high school career of wrestling.
No, it wasn't great.
But
I was okay.
You're a part of teams, and teams need every single one of their teammates and team members and coaches. They do. I was in the service as well, and during the first Gulf War, and people would talk about the people in England and getting the supplies. Hey, look, without the supplies, you can't do this over here. You know what I mean? Everybody plays a part. And so really, I kind of, looking back, would you change anything?
There's probably one thing I would change. When I decided to go into journalism, I wasn't sure if I was going to go into television, radio, and newspaper. So I actually had a job in all three at one time. I was working part-time as a...
Had you bet, huh?
Right. Working part-time at a television station in New Orleans, working part-time at a radio station in New Orleans, and also covering high school sports for the Times-Picayune. And I had a fourth job at the same time, working in a bingo hall, but that had nothing to do with any of that. But I was doing all four jobs, and I said, okay, whatever direction the media takes me into, that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And it happened to be, it was television. That television gave me that opportunity. And I always thought, it would be pretty cool to be at ESPN. It'd be pretty cool to be in those places. But if I had to go back and change it, I probably would have stayed in the newspaper. Because there's only so much you can tell about a story when on television. You get maybe a 30-second spot for something about UL football or something about LSU basketball. Whereas in newspaper, you get to be a little bit more open about the words that you use.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoy the writing process. And I wish, if I go back and change it, that's a direction I would have gone into a little bit more.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have gotten you here.
Right.
And you probably may not have made an impact on so many people.
Right.
Because look, as a parent, I appreciate the coaches. I appreciate the priest. I appreciate the teachers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you have made a big difference in the lives of so many people. And that's what it's all about.
Right. It's a vocation. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I'm glad looking back, even though I say I wish I would have done that,
yeah,
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be in the spot that I'm in now.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to Lead, Grow, Live. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that there are parts of it where I'm going, man, I needed to hear that because I learned this lesson, and now I can go out and help other entrepreneurs and business owners. We'll go ahead and provide more information about Kent Masson and what he's doing at Teurlings Catholic. I hope that you follow them and you invest in them and pour into them as much as he is, because the payoff in the end for the guys who coach with him and the team members and the wrestlers, what they do to go on and be huge parts of this community and live great lives and serve their families. They're learning a lot of those lessons today as wrestlers at Teurlings. If you or somebody you know would be a great guest on Lead, Grow, Live, please reach out to me at jeff@companygrowthacademy.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode.